Alright, assalamu alaikum. So on the monthly, due to this failure swing, I'm having a bearish bias on the monthly and draw on liquidity at least this low here. Now, how the previous weeks closed with this closure and looking at how they disrespected this fair value gap, it's likely that they're not gonna respect this whole leg here. Right, so a couple of things we can notice on the weekly time frame. We had an indirect shift. Even though it's noisy, it's still an indirect shift. Second thing, we have a pure plus double area, and we see that price respected that pure level. You see how they swept above bodies telling us the story. We have a failure swing here with a reversal profile, right? Now this week is potentially going to give us more elements of narrative. If they give us a gap here, it's potentially going to continue lower and lower until maybe this structural liquidity, if the monthly low is going to hold, they could at least grab this monthly liquidity before proceeding higher. Right. Another thing is we still can pay attention to this structure on the weekly time frame, ABCD structure, right? It's a significant structure, and so it's either gonna be a sort of an obstacle toward the draw on liquidity, or it's gonna provide a reversal and a change in narrative, right? Because so far on the weekly time frame, we still need to admit that the order flow is still like bullish on the weekly time frame, right? With this gap here, but due to the closure right here, I'm really skeptical about this leg holding, right? But I mean, they could still come here and tap into whatever, and tap into whatever. I don't see any significant level, to be honest. They tap into something, and if they provide a gap on the upside, it's gonna give us like bullish power displayed, right? So let's move on to the daily time frame. So check this out, bro. Something that I'm still working on and really that I'm trying to fix sometime is having a clear bias. I mean, I'm bearish on the weekly time frame, and the I mean, unless I see some rejection of this first liquidation, right, I don't see any reason for them to stop right here. And so the draw is below there, if not even lower. So the origin, we have two things, the origin and the draw, right? So the origin, what gives us this bearish bias is this currently is this rejection, right? It's this rejection that we have this profile, reversal profile. So we already discussed about the potential fair value gap here. The week isn't completed yet. A lot of things can happen, but we have this structure here which we could monitor, but it's only on the lower time frame. And so you see, some mistake could be that we anticipate what is happening here. Now we're going to switch to the lower time frame and see. But so far I'm bearish, right? So I would try to find bearish setups on the daily, 4 hour, 1 hour. Now, following the weekly structure, we had a structure retest on the 4 hour, and we see a pretty decent confirmation. Let's check out the 15 minutes. So here is the 15 minutes, and what's here is also interesting is on the daily time frame we also had a setup, right? So we had an entry of this level on the 15 minutes, right, of this ridged swing, right, ridged formation, entry here, stop loss below this low, and I delivered a little bit, which now means the weekly time frame gave us kind of the 4 hour, um, the 4 hour gave us a confirmation. We had a confirmation. We had a confirmation for the weekly structure, right? Now it kind of changes everything. And this is where things can start to be a little complicated because initially we said the weekly is bearish. Remember, we had a bearish bias, but now we had a confirmation for the weekly structure also. Now let me just check something. So you see, we are back on the weekly time frame, and actually the confirmation that we had a 4 hour POI and the confirmation of that POI, but we didn't go for the extreme, right? We didn't go for the extreme. So I'm thinking in terms of cycles, right? Cycle, and so it's still possible, right? The 4 hour make price go a little bit deeper, right? Toward this low, toward this extreme anyway. We need to, instead of go and like jump the gun toward like, okay, the weekly time frame is back to bullish. I mean, we need further confirmation, right? Let's just look on the lower time frame. The daily time frame is currently rejecting of this single area. It's currently rejecting of pretty much the 50%. And so on the 4 hour, if we pay attention, we have a pure plus double area, and also a potential 0.3 London fractal jus de swing. Jus de swing plus pretty ridged swing, ridged turn here, right? So all this is like converging with the bearish narrative and the psychologic. They confirmed of a structural retest on the weekly structure and daily structure, but the weekly structure wasn't mitigated to the extreme, and so we can anticipate from the potential drop toward these extremes, right? So we had a pretty A plus here set up for an entry, so let's just follow through all of this and see what we have on the lower time frame. So again, we had a pretty strong rally here, but it could just be a jeu de swing, right? Bearish on the 4 hour. Couple of things on the 1 hour time frame. Fake break, potential jeu de swing. Right? In terms of structure, we have this weak bearish structure that is likely to get swept, right? And we also have a pure plus double area, right? After this first liquidation. Now we have a little bit of self-consumption. Which we either are going to see a reversal profile unfold of the sweep and tap into this pure plus double area without even any structure retest above this 1 hour structure, right? No structure retest. Or they're gonna go for something deeper, maybe this level here, before reversing. This is the general idea, right? All the flow on the 1 hour time frame. Is is currently just on the floor on the off. It's bearish. It's bearish. So let's look on the lower time frame, see if something is unfolding. We have red for the news coming at 8:30, so it's already 7. So I mean, taking a trade right now would be a scalp, obviously. For some short term or swing, it's not like ideal. So you know what I'm saying. 1 hour structure, we had an invalidation like with a phantom trend line, which puts our attention above it. All of this liquidity build up, and we talked about the self-consumption roughly here. We have a reflex level that converges with this pure, and so we see a pretty nice formation here. All right, so I would bet on this area for them to tap into and short from there. Right, this is ideally here our structural retest level. Right, so monitoring price reactions of the structural retest. Let's keep things short. Right, I'm gonna finish the video here and see you later. Peace.